In the high-risk arena of M&As, IPOs, and other transactions, everything needs to be spot on. A cast of hundreds works diligently behind the scenes to get everything just right for the big deal. But one major thing was overlooked, and it could be a showstopper. What is it? Well, it's not about the tangibles. In fact, it's about the soft stuff that all connects to a company's brand. Corporate and product branding, internal branding and employee engagement, leadership and culture integration. It's also about the due diligence of intangible assets, ways to quantify the target company in critical soft areas that could make the difference between a good deal and a bad one. But don't take my word for it. The facts tell the story. According to an article from Forbes, 3 decades ago, as much as 95% of the average corporation's value consisted of tangible assets. Today, 75 to 80% of that value is intangible assets. And when the brand valuation for some companies is approaching 50% of their market cap, it's no surprise that according to CFO Magazine, there is a powerful link between the strength of a company's brand and the performance of its stock. And this one from Bloomberg Businessweek. Many savvy companies are starting to realize that a good brand name can be their most important asset and actually boost the stock price. Boost in stock price? By how much? Here's a quote from an article in CFO Magazine that speaks to that very matter. Investors in public companies tend to value well-branded companies higher. Corporate brand plays a real role in stock performance of approximately 5 to 7%. So how does brand and reputation impact market capitalization? The World Economics Forum asked that question in a survey of CEOs across the country. In response, over 60% of them believe that brand and reputation represent more than 40% of their market capitalization. And here's a quote from an article in Bloomberg Businessweek that goes further to reference a measured correlation between brand reputation and market cap. A company's reputation for being able to deliver growth, attract top talent, and avoid ethical mishaps can account for much of the 30 to 70% gap between the book value of most companies and their market capitalizations. With the high importance of brand stewardship, several sources make different suggestions as to who should have the job as keeper of the brand during a transaction and beyond. Many say the CEO as corporate leader. Others say the CFO as the corporate risk manager. Most agree it should be a top priority in the boardroom. This quote from a global M&A magazine has this to say: brands should become the hot boardroom agenda item for corporate advisors, asset-based lenders, and company executives alike. They should think very carefully about brand stewardship issues during the due diligence process before it's too late. According to this best-selling book, Brand Warfare, a well-branded company is a strong attribute to attracting new key employees and increasing employee productivity. A business based on brand is a business primed for success. The very best people want to work for them. Their brands help employees focus and make decisions. And their brands motivate their employees to do more than they otherwise would have believed they could. The lack of employee engagement, retention, productivity, and the failure to integrate cultures are frequently listed by consulting firms and analysts as the top reasons for a failed transaction. Although every merger is unique, we find that the inability to effectively integrate people and culture is at the heart of most merger failures. Booz Allen. When pre-qualifying a target, due diligence of intangible assets for a transaction can include a variety of focal areas. Areas including valuation of brands and intellectual property, leadership and brand reputation analysis, cultural compatibility, and more. An article appearing in MIT Sloan Management Review postures the importance of the due diligence process of intangibles. With intangible assets representing close to 80% of the value of the Standard & Poor's 500, it is vital for the due diligence process to include a comprehensive analysis of brands and intellectual property. The facts are clear. When statistics tell us that only 3 out of every 10 transactions are successful, responsible executives and dealmakers are taking the soft stuff very seriously. And that means early attention to everything connected to a company's brand. Corporate and product branding, internal branding and employee engagement, leadership and culture integration, along with the due diligence of intangible assets and reputation. These are no longer nice-tos, they are must-dos. for both fiduciary and transaction risk management reasons. And the process needs to start with pre-deal discussions, through due diligence and deal execution, straight into post-deal integration and beyond. The head of enterprise risk management and compliance at Cisco had this to say to Forbes about managing the risk of intangibles. Companies should seek new capabilities and approaches for managing risk. In particular, they should now consider a much broader set of risks and strategic assets, including people, intellectual property, customers, and marketing efforts. And a survey conducted by Forbes and Deloitte with 300 major companies around the world shows that 67% of respondents believe that strategic risk management should be a CEO and board level priority. And so, yes, the facts do tell the story. Simply put, transactions represent a critical point in time when internal and external brand impacts the most vital components of a successful deal. Market cap, enterprise valuation, shareholder value, investor confidence, employee productivity, recruitment and retention, market reach, and product sales. So, welcome to the intersection of Madison Avenue and Wall Street. It's not a physical place to go, it's a fiscal place to be.